Welcome to AggieMart training. AggieMart is our e-procurement system. It's the way that we order things here on campus. It's not the only way that we order things, but it's one of the main ways that we purchase goods and services here at the university. To get started, you will need to log into the test environment. You should have received a login, a username, and a password. From A&T's homepage, select Faculty, Staff, Business, Finance, Procurement Services on your left side, and AggieMart Test on your right side. You will log in using your username and password that was provided to you. When you come in, it may ask you to reset your password. That is fine. If you would like to leave your password at the same password, just type it 3 times. If not, type it once and then select a new password and save. I will now give you the basics on how to navigate within AggieMart. The little house will take you home to your main page. Your shopping cart on your left-hand side. Your shopping cart allows you to do several things. It allows you to view my carts, my orders. It allows you to create orders. It allows you to view your forms. You can create non-catalog items. You can shop also. You can browse your suppliers, your contracts, categories. You can order chemicals. If you would like to look at your carts that you've created, you can do that by selecting My Carts, My Orders, view My Orders within the last 90 days. You can look at your draft carts, and you can also look at My Active Shopping Carts. That admin allows you to search for draft carts created by other users. Next, the sheet of papers, orders, and documents. The most important thing here is the Search Document tab. Search documents. Anytime you would like to search for documents to check on the status of them, you would select here. When you log in, it will probably resemble this. To do a more advanced search, you would simply go to Advanced Search. Requisitions. The items that you are able to search here are requisitions, purchase orders, receipts, and form requests. Form requests are those new supplier form requests that you submit or the temporary SBA employment form. Receipts is tied to receiving. You will be required to receive in banner. You can search for your purchase orders, and you can search for requisitions also. So let's say we would like to search for a requisition. If we had that requisition, we would select requisition and then type in the requisition number and say go. But suppose we don't have that available to us and we would like to check on an actual requisition. We can select Advanced Search, and we can add other filters. We can type in the supplier's name where it says supplier, or we can type in the department's name. If you know who created the requisition, you can type in a requisitioner's actual name and say go. I'm going to leave this blank for testing and just say go. When I select go, it brings up all of the most recent requisitions that have been created. You can filter through to find the one that you're looking for, or you can simply scroll through and advance to the next page, whichever you prefer. You may start a new search by selecting New Search and select some new filters. You can also search for purchase orders by selecting purchase orders. Again, if you know your purchase order number, you can type it in. If not, you can filter by the requisitioner, the supplier, the date. You can also fill in your dates to find that actual purchase order you're looking for. So next, we have catalogs and contracts. The most important thing under this tab would be to search for contracts. We have contracts that have been negotiated for the entire university to use, and if you would like to use them or see what is available, simply select Search Contracts and hit your magnifying glass to search. It will bring up the vendor, and it will bring up the contract dates so you can see if it is still active. You can select one of these and complete a requisition for that particular supplier. Our next icon is our accounts payable tab. Our supplier management allows us to search for our suppliers. All suppliers are not in Aggie Mart. If you do not find them, that means we simply need to add them, and you would do that by creating a new supplier form, and I will go over that shortly. Your next icon, reporting. Reporting allows you to generate reports. If you want to track spending for your department, you can create reports to do that. The binoculars at the bottom of your screen is a search menu. It allows you to search for things. Say I'm lost and I'm looking for forms. I can type in my forms, the name forms, and it will say view forms. Click on it and it will actually take me to my forms. So now I'm going to go home and explain the home page to you. So the shopping cart here is an expanded version of the shopping cart on the left-hand side. Everything you can do from the left-hand side, you can do here from the home page. You can shop everything. You can create a non-catalog item. You can view your forms. You can look at suppliers. You can order by category, and you can order by contract. From home, I'm going to look at my favorites. My favorites, I have personal favorites and I have shared favorites. Anything personal is yours. Anything shared is shared throughout the campus community. So favorites are your favorites. Anything you want to set as something that you use all the time. Favorites and forms looks the exact same way. We have personal and we have shared. Anything personal is yours, only you can see. Anything shared is shared throughout the campus community. Right now, we share the supplier modification form and we share the purchase order change request form. The new supplier form is the form that you will fill out anytime you would like to add a new supplier or we need to make changes to an existing supplier. You will simply click on the view form, or you can click on new supplier requests and this box will appear. If you know what the vendor's historically underutilized business status is, they're a hub vendor, you can select it. If you don't know, just say no. You will always need to check banner to see if the vendor has a banner ID number. If it does, you will place it here. If it does not, simply leave it blank. In leaving it blank, we know this is a totally new supplier to the university and you will be required to submit a W-9. Put in the supplier's fulfillment, full remit to name, their address. It is important to always get a fax number or an email address. Everything within Aggie Mart is done electronically, so we will either need the email address or the fax number. Your information goes on the right-hand side. If we have any questions about this form, we can always get in touch with you. Available actions. Once the form is completed in its entirety, available actions at the top, you will have to add this form to a cart. You can add it to a cart, say go, you can return to a cart, you can add it to a pending cart if you have one that has not been processed yet, and just say go. Okay. The purchase change request form, this form is required anytime you need to make changes to an existing purchase order. You will simply put in the supplier's name, the date that you're actually doing the change, the purchase order number, and the type of change. If you hit the drop-down arrow, it will give you some generic reasons for changing a purchase order. If you would like to cancel it, if the cost has been changed, if you need to change the scope, which is the fund, the org, the account, the program. If you need to change the funding source, you would select full change. If you're decreasing the quantity, if you're adding something, or if you're deleting something, we must always change our purchase orders so they match our invoices. Accounting will pay from a three-way match, and that is going to be our purchase order, our invoice, and our receiver. So we have to make sure that everything matches up. Details of change. You will add the details of the change. What you're adding, what you're deleting. If you're canceling the purchase order, you will simply say cancel PO. But the more details you give us, the better we understand what you're trying to accomplish. You will put in the dollar amount, and at the bottom of the form, you will put in your actual information. Forms and instructions provide some additional information. Purchase order change request form, our petty cash form is only being tested. Don't get too happy. Sodexo Flavors Catering is a punch out. These are the instructions. Mobile instructions for mobile approvers. Anyone who is an approver that is not here on campus can approve requisitions via their smartphones or if they have internet connection. The authorization for lecturer form, we are testing this to move this into Aggie Mart also. Don't get too happy, that's coming in the future. New supplier request form, you will have to fill that out anytime you would like to add a vendor to Aggie Mart or banner. Temporary SPA employment, that form is required anytime a new employee comes on campus. Contracts alert at the bottom will give you important dates when contracts are expiring. So let's move to the top where you see your name. If you hit that drop down arrow, please always log out this way. But the most important thing, in addition to logging out the correct way, view my profile. View my profile allows you to set up your profile. So once you log in, you come into username and your phone number and email address. Please put in your office number here. It is important to set up your address information. So under profile, view my profile, you will select default address and you would select address for profile. Select your building name and say save. I'll just select one and save. This is important when you're moved into production, so you will have your building saved as your shipping address. And I'll show you that more when we actually create a requisition. User roles and access. We are assigned roles depending on what our job description is here at the university. Purchasing, procurement services does not decide what your role is. Your department will decide on that. So we have several roles that you can play. You can be a requisitioner, a shopper, an approver. We have a systems administrator, and we have buyers. Buyers are assigned to those individuals in the procurement services office, and so is the system administrator. He is assigned to procurement services. Anything technical that goes on with Aggie Mart or having any problems with it, make sure that you contact our systems administrator. Now, a shopper. A shopper is someone who only has access to shop. They do not have access to any funds that are assigned to your particular department. A requisitioner is someone who can create an order and has access to funds within the department. The difference between a shopper and a requisitioner is that access to funds. A shopper can only shop. They will have to assign their cart to a requisitioner, and the requisitioner will have to complete the order for them. An approver is someone who is a department head who owns a fund. It could be a faculty member that has written a grant that has grant money. So an approver is someone who owns a fund. The other important thing under my profile will be notification preferences. It will allow you to look at those preferences that have been set according to what your role is within Aggie Mart. Notifications are notifications that let you know what is going on with your requisition once it has been approved, moved through the approval process, and the actual purchase order when it is sent to the supplier. If you find that you're not receiving notifications that you would like to receive, you can work with the system administrator, and you can look at the complete list of notifications here under notification preferences. But just know, each time you change the notification preferences to turn something on, you will receive notifications in AggieMart, and you will receive them within your email. Under View My Profile, it allows you to change your time zone, to change your display setting, and it also allows you to change your password under security settings if you would like to change your password. Next to your name, you will see a star. This is a bookmark. If you would like to bookmark a page, you can do that from here. This flag is action items. Anytime someone assigns a requisition to you, you will see cart assigned to me. You can come here to complete it. This is for requisitioners. For approvers, this is a place where you can come to approve your actual requisitions. This bell is notifications. It will allow you to look at your notifications. The shopping cart holds your total of all of the items that you have created within your shopping cart. And next, as a magnifying glass, this is also a search tool. It only allows you to search those items that are listed under the search bar. Where it says all, simply click on the drop down arrow and it will give you the actual categories of which you can search for here. We have our showcase suppliers. Our showcase suppliers are those suppliers that we want to showcase. We have Hosted and we have Punch Out. They're not the only suppliers that are available to you, but they do provide us with special pricing, so we call them our showcase suppliers. Hosted simply means that they host pricing on AggieMart's site. Punch Out means that we will punch out of AggieMart and into their environment. An example of that is Mac Paper. I'm going to click on Mac Paper, and it's going to bring up pricing within AggieMart. So that's Hosted. It brings up the description. If a picture is available, it will give you a picture. It provides pricing, and we can simply add our items to our cart. Now, a punch out. A punch out is a vendor that will take us to their site. So I clicked on Office Depot, and Office Depot would take us to officedepot.ncat.edu. Office Depot has set up a special site for us to use. So when we punch out, we go to this special site. This is just like a catalog. You can order and add your items to your cart. Remember, whenever you punch out, your session will be timed. And in the top right-hand side, you will see your SiteQuest session will expire in. If you have not completed your order and move back into the AggieMart environment before your time expires, you will lose your order. So it's important to pay attention to your time and to reset your session if you need additional time. If you selected a punch out by mistake, simply cancel your punch out and it will take you back to AggieMart. My Requisitions just houses your most recent requisitions that you've created. Gives you the requisition number, gives you the date and the total amount. Organizational messages, I call this our bulletin board. It will have messages, important messages for the campus. Please pay attention when you log into AggieMart. Please look at the bulletin board or the organizational messages. It'll tell you when we made some enhancements, when we have training, if the system will be taken down, it will give you important messages. Now, from the home page, let's start to create an order. There are several different ways that you can create a requisition within AggieMart. As I mentioned, this shopping area here is the same thing that is on the left side. So I'm going to go through everything. There are several ways that you can order things through Aggie Mart. You can shop everything. Let's say we have no clue as to where to order something from or if it is actually available within Aggie Mart. You can shop everything. If you want to see what everything is, simply hit the drop down arrow and it will give you categories. So say we're looking for some glass products. We can type in glass and hit search. Anything with the word glass in it that is available within Aggie Mart will appear. If a picture is available, it'll have a picture. It'll give you pricing and it'll also tell you who the actual vendor is. It's taken a little time to search, and I can tell this by the spinning circle. So it's giving me some items here that have the word glass in it, a picture, and the actual price. I can add it to my cart if I'm interested in purchasing it, or I can go back and do another search. I can filter down and provide some additional information. Okay, that's one way you can purchase. You can also purchase by creating a non-catalog item. And to create a non-catalog item, the vendor may or may not be in Aggie Mart, but to find out, you can type in the vendor's name. I'm going to type in Holiday Tours. I can select them, and it will bring their name up along with their address information. I can put in my product description. They're going to provide transportation for a student field trip to Washington. DC on September the 1st through the 5th of 2016. My catalog number. If a catalog number is available, please type that in. If a catalog is not available, use a 1 to 2 word description of what you're actually ordering. Please never use 123 NA or 999 666 333s. Never use that. Type in. So they're providing transportation. So we can do rental, bus. We can type in bus transportation. We can type in transportation. We have several options. We're only going to get one bus. And our price, how much are they charging us? They're going to charge us $1,050. Please no decimal points. Just make sure you have the right amount of zeros. We have several unit or measures for you to select from. Whichever applies, you can select. If anything that you're actually ordering meets any of these categories on the right-hand side, if it's recycled, hazardous material, toxin in any way, please make sure that you're checking this. That way it will flow through our OSHA area and they can know what we're actually getting here on campus. The next required thing will be your commodity code. Commodity codes are required. So we will select the magnifying glass. Once we select the magnifying glass, this box will appear where it says description contains. We will type in a 1 word to describe what we're actually ordering. So transportation, and I'm going to hit search. And within that search, it produced 2 pages of items. I'm going to scroll down till I find something that fits what I'm actually ordering. It does not have to be specific as long as it can fit in a general category. So I see something called passenger road transportation that fits in the category, so I'm going to save and close. It'll tell me item successfully added to my cart. Whenever you create a requisition, it starts off as a cart. Everything is a cart until you place an order, and then it becomes a requisition. So my shopping cart. To find where my order went, I simply look in the right-hand corner, the shopping cart. I want to view my shopping cart, and I need to complete some items within my shopping cart. So I need to name my cart. I tell users to name their cart something that they can remember. This is field trip DC and test. Anytime you create items within the test environment, please make sure you put the word test in the cart name. It will flow through the same process as anything in production, and we don't want people to think that we're actually ordering this when this is something that we're just testing. So I will save, and it tells me that my cart was saved successfully. Now I would like to proceed to checkout. If you notice, I have several tabs associated with my cart. Right now it's on the accounting tab, and it only allows me to see the accounting information. I like to work on my summary tab, but whatever works best for you, you will figure it out once you start creating requisitions or carts. So I selected my summary tab, and I'm here in the general area. It gives me the cart name, and now it's asking me for a requested delivery date. When setting delivery dates, always select the delivery date to the actual date that the items will be delivered or the service will be rendered. So I know it's going to happen in September, so I can set it for September the 1st because that's when the service will take place. So I can set my delivery date as September 1 and save. If you have not spoken with the supplier, give a rough estimate of when you anticipate it will be delivered. So my shipping address has already been set, but suppose it wasn't. I would simply hit the edit button, and I need to choose my org address. So I would do that by clicking here and select from org addresses. And this box will appear. I will simply type in my building name, only the first part, and select search. I will select my building, and I will put in the room number where I am located and say save. This is only if you're ordering for someone other than yourself and you need to change the building address. The billing address is already populated to our accounts payable. The next thing you will need to do is to set your accounting codes. Any box where you see edit will allow you to edit the information. So for accounting codes, you will need your index and you will need the account code. Index means fund. They mean the same thing. You'll see fund in Banner and you will see index in AggieMart. When selecting account codes, if you do not know your index, you can select from File Values, and you can scroll through to find your one. And you can also do the same thing with account codes. You can type in a description of an account code. Say I'm looking for office supplies, and you can find office supplies and select it, in addition to going to the Business and Finance Budgets website to look at account codes. Now, I've contacted Holiday Tours and they have given me a quote or estimate. Anytime pricing is not available in AggieMart, you will need to secure a quote or estimate from the supplier and attach it in AggieMart. Please make sure that your quotes or estimates are no older than 30 days and that they say quotes or estimates. Do not attach invoices in AggieMart. and you will attach it under Internal Notes and Attachment. You simply hit Add Attachment and select File. Wherever you have saved it on your desktop, or if you saved it to a USB drive, you can attach it here. If you have any notes that you would like to attach to this requisition or cart, you can type them under Internal Notes. So we have Internal Notes and Attachment and External Notes and Attachment. On Internal Notes and Attachments, External Notes are those things that go out. Internal notes stay within the campus community, so you can attach under Internal Notes and Attachments and also under External Notes and Attachments. I'm going to scroll down and we will see our supplier, who is Holiday Tours, and you will actually see your items that you're ordering. Say I forgot to add something. I would simply hit Add Non-Catalog Item for the supplier and I can add it. It will bring up a box where I can provide product description, catalog number. I can fill in this and say Save and Close, and it will add another line to my actual cart. Okay. It's all complete, and I know this because I can scroll back up to the top and it will tell me all done. All required information has been completed. I see green check marks going all the way across. Now, if you are a shopper, you will see Assign Cart and Place Order. If you are a shopper, you do not need to fill in the accounting codes. The requisitioner will do that for you. You simply select Assign Cart. It'll say Search for Assignee, and you can type in your requisitioner's name and say Go, and it will tell you your cart has been successfully assigned. Once your order is complete, you have your requisition number. You can write it down, or you can always search for your requisition number by coming to Documents, Search Documents, and remember, you can find it by the supplier's name, or you can type in your name if it was prepared by yourself and search. And here it is, Student Field Trip. This is how it will move through the approval process. It tells me that I submitted it. It's always going to do a banner authorization check to make sure I have authorization to post from that fund. It's going to go do a department approval. It's going to go through state funds, and it's going to come through procurement services before it does another banner authorization check and creates your purchase order. All of this information can be seen here under PR approvals, or you can always go to your History tab. History allows you to see where your requisition has gone, how it moves through the approval process, who touched it and who hasn't touched it. If you notice, it's still doing a banner budget authorization check. This little squiggly line with the arrows in a circle just means that it is pending. Now, from the home page, we're going to create a showcase supplier. We've created a non-catalog item. We're going to create showcase supplier, a host-it, and a punch-out to show you two other ways that you can create orders within AggieMart. So we're going to go to the showcase suppliers. I'm going to select MAC paper. And as you can see, the items appeared. This is copy paper. So any copy paper that we order here at the university should come from MAC paper, especially if you're ordering a large dollar amount. So I'm just going to go over to my box and I am going to add my quantity. So I am going to order 15 cases of basic copy paper. I'm going to type in 15 and add to my cart. If you will notice, my shopping cart now has $406.95 in it. That's all we are getting from MAC paper at this time. So I'm going to go and I'm going to view my cart. Again, we're creating a order from a hosted catalog. So I'm going to name my cart, and I'm going to name it Copy Paper Test. Again, also remember to always type test in your cart name when you're in the test environment. When you get moved into production, you can name it whatever you like. Name it something that has a catchy phrase to it that you'll remember and you know why you created the actual requisition. I'm going to save again, and it'll tell me cart was successfully saved. I'm going to proceed to checkout, and again, I came in on my commodity code tab. I want to see everything, so I'm going to select summary to see the big picture. I have no idea when Mac Paper will deliver my paper, so I'm going to give my cart requisition a week to move through the approval process. Simply selected the calendar, and I will select August the 30th. Copy paper is coming to me in my department, so I'm going to add my room number behind my name just in case Mac Paper decides to deliver this themselves instead of central receiving. Now I need to give an accounting code. I need to say how I'm going to actually pay for this, out of what index and out of what account code. I'm going to select edit. My index is correct. If I needed to change it, I would simply click in it and delete it and type in the correct index. Remember, index and fund mean the same thing. This copy paper is for office use, so it's an office supply, and I'm going to type in 72601. Account codes are how your budget is broken down, your line items within your budget. For complete descriptions of account codes, you can visit Business and Finance Budget, and you can scroll on their homepage to find the listing of account codes. Again, internal, external attachments. If I had anything that I needed to attach, it would go under internal attachments and I would put it there. But pricing is available within Aggie Mart, so I do not need a price quote for my copy paper. I'm going to make sure that everything is correct, and I'm going to scroll back up to the top, and it tells me I'm all done. I have all the required information. I am going to place my order. I'm going to select place order, and it gives me my requisition number. Depending on what your process is for your area, you may want to print out this page. You may want to jot down your requisition number. At the point that I selected place order, my requisition number was assigned. I can look at how it's going to move through the approval process by selecting PR approvals again. So we have created and hosted. We've created a non-catalog item. Now let's create a punch out. So how can you tell which ones are hosted and which ones are punch outs? So if you would notice Mac Paper icon, and if you notice Office Depot, in the right hand corner you will see an extra little square. If you rub your mouse across it, it should say punch out. That means that this is a punch out supplier. And again, you're punching out of Aggie Mart and punching into their site. So I selected Office Depot, and it's going to take us to Office Depot's site. So I can click in and search for what I'm looking for, or I can click around to find the items that I need. I am going to type in what I'm actually looking for. We're going to get some Post-it notes. So I'm going to select Post-it notes, and I'm going to add them to my cart. So I'm just going to grab one item on this order. But if you were ordering for yourself or your department, you would add all of your items to your cart, view your cart, make sure that you don't need to add anything before leaving. I have my one item, so I'm ready to check out. Once I check out, it takes me from Office Depot back to Aggie Mart. Again, I am going to name my cart, and I'm going to name it office supplies. For August test. Save it, and I want to proceed to checkout. Again, I came in on my accounting codes. I want to see the whole picture, so I'm going to select my summary. I'm going to change my date to give it a week. Save it. I'm going to add my room number. Save it also. And then I'm going to give it an accounting code. I'm going to select 72601 because these are office supplies, and save it. And again, pricing is available within Aggie Mart, so I do not need to attach internal notes and attachment or external notes and attachment. I'm going to scroll back up because that's all we're getting is that one item, and I'm going to place my order. So we've created a non-catalog item, we created a hosted, and we created a punch out. So I'm going to go back home. So we did favorites, forms. We actually created a non-catalog order item. Quick order. Quick order is if you need to order things quickly. You can select on your category. You have to have your part number, and it has to be available within Aggie Mart, and it will quickly add it to your cart. So let's go back to shop. Suppliers. Suppliers is the same thing that you see on your left-hand side, but you can view all of your suppliers from the supplier button. It will list them in alphabetical order. It will tell you what type of vendor it is. If you need to search for one, you can simply come over on the left-hand side, click the filter search, and type in the supplier's name. Let's say I want to look for holiday tours. Search it, and it brings it up. I can click it, and it will give me all of holiday tours information. I'm going to go back home. Categories. Categories allows you to shop by categories. Say you want to click through your categories to find actually what you're looking for. So you can click on categories, and it will list those categories. Say I'm looking for some safety lab supplies. I can click on lab supplies, safety and cleaning, and then I have to click on what type of items I'm actually looking for before it will bring up a listing of those actual safety products that I'm looking for. Okay? So let's go back home. That was categories. Contracts is the same thing that I showed you on the left-hand side. You can click on your magnifying glass, and it will bring up your contracts. And you can scroll through to find if one best fits your need. Chemicals looks the same way as quick order. Allows you to order things quickly, providing that you know the part number. Okay? Oftentimes, your requisitions will be sent back to you for some particular reason. Either you have not attached the W-9, or you did not provide a quote. If that is the case, you can always find those requisitions under My Carts, My Orders. You can look in draft carts. If you need to withdraw a requisition, and you will simply withdraw the requisition on the right-hand side where it says withdraw the requisition. If you're looking for one that is an active cart, you can come here also, select the history tab to see why it was returned. If something is returned to you, we always tell you why it's returned. You can go to your history tab and read why it was returned. If you don't understand what you're reading under the history tab, please call Procurement Services at 334-7555, and we can assist you with helping you understand why your cart or requisition was returned. It is always important to receive your purchase orders. Remember, accounts payable pays from a three-way match: purchase orders, your receiver, and the invoice. If you have any problems with receiving, call Procurement Services at 334-7555.